You have a dream? Get off your ass and make that shit happen. Get off your ass.
Welcome to another episode of Riffin with Griffin. And this is another dope intro song made by a fan, Kyle Quismundough.
Damn funny.
And ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome to the show another special guest from Workaholics, the first director that ever directed me, Mr. Kyle Newacheck. Right here, everybody. Welcome to Riffin with Griffin.
Thank you, dude.
Do you like this?
I like it. It's hot.
I'm walking into this building at this rate.
Let's enjoy it a little while longer.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I mean, isn't it amazing quality?
It's got good production. Yeah, Kyle, you did a good job.
Yes, you did, Kyle. You did a great job. All right.
Riffin with Griffin. Wow.
Riffin with Griffin.
I mean, that's cool. That sets the tone in like a good way too. It's
yeah, right? We set the tone. But anyways,
we might get real.
We could have started freestyle rapping for all we know.
We could have.
No, I don't think we should.
I don't know.
Well, it is good to see you, my friend. I'm so glad you came on, and it's like I haven't seen you since Montreal.
See,
he's the director of a very good Adam Sandler Netflix movie called Murder Mystery, which is coming out when?
Well, right now the word on the street is summer.
Okay, well, it's going to be out in the summer,
but they might pull it up. Netflix has been known to do that before.
Oh,
so I don't know. It could be there sooner than later. I'm not sure. Those guys are wild.
Well, I hope so. It was like it worked out great. I mean, I remember you randomly hit me up like, "Hey, I got this thing." You weren't even clear about it.
No. Why would I be clear? I just there's a lot of levels. There's a lot of things that can, I feel like part of the direct, like asking for something like that is managing expectations too. Being like, hey,
well,
if I told you early, then it's like you could be hanging on for a while thinking about it. And it's like, I don't want to put that type of
the pressure.
Yeah.
Expectations.
Like let the pressure be the moment when we shoot. You know what I mean?
Well, you also were you were on rocky ground with me.
Is that right?
Yes, because you hit me up to do a scene in what was it? The boys movie. What's it?
Oh yeah, Game Over Man.
Game Over Man.
That's right.
Yeah. So Kyle hits me up. He's like, "Hey, I remember this." You call and you go, "Hey man, I got a part for you in this movie," and I'm like, "I'm ready to go." And you go, "Well, hold on a second."
Yeah. Then I had to make sure and manage your expectations.
Let me tell you what this part is. So you wanted me to come on and get my ass eaten. This was and then you said, it's the funniest scene in the movie. That was your sales pitch.
Yeah, well, it is. It's hilarious.
Yeah, then why didn't you do it?
I don't know.
Really?
You
didn't want your ass eaten on screen?
Well, not really.
So you call old Montez to get his ass eaten on screen?
Also, Game Over Man represents me taking a step back from acting.
Oh, here we go. You pretentious piece of shit. How dare you?
Yes, I thought that the character's name was Husky Hostage.
Oh, okay.
Then why? Ass eaten.
First of all, this is the first I'm hearing that his name was Husky Hostage.
But I always read it. I mean, we made the script when we were doing Workaholics. So
you always knew it was going to be me?
Reading drafts.
So I couldn't get a bigger part? I couldn't be a cop? I couldn't be an FBI agent? I had to be the guy?
You totally could have been a cop, but I saved the cop. I saved the cop for the next movie. Am I right?
Oh, don't try to.
Am I right?
Okay, so, all right, so, the ass eating part, I didn't do it, I was just like,
hilarious, by the way. You watch that in a room full of people.
Okay.
It's the most insane scene.
But dude, I just got off doing I'm Dying Up Here. I felt like a real actor.
I totally listen.
You know what I mean?
When Erik, when you respectfully passed,
yeah.
I understood.
Okay, good.
I didn't not understand why.
But then when you called again for something, you were just like, hey, I might be doing this movie. I have something for you. And I was kind of like, okay. I wasn't sure. And then sure enough, you call and you're like, hey, you got to come up and do this movie. I had something else going on. But then it's like, yo, Sandler wants you to come up,
Yeah, because he was like, triggers are being pulled late on that kind of movie. It's like, when do we have to pull the trigger? You know?
Right.
And so it's kind of this like balancing act of, when do you show somebody so that they don't forget, versus when does the trigger have to be pulled? And how many times am I reaching out to Sandler for something as opposed to working with his team, you know?
Now, this was like, would you consider this like your biggest project as a director of something?
Oh yeah, majorly.
Okay, so this is like, so you felt like some pressure for it, right?
Massive. Yeah, I mean, I did. I tried not to.
Because it was a huge budget too, wasn't it? Like a $60 million budget, something like that.
It was up to 100.
Wow! So this is $100 million Netflix project.
It's like it's
Adam Sandler, Jennifer Aniston.
Yes. Honestly, the whole time I'm like, what am I doing here? But I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
You know, because it kept myself in check.
Yeah,
where it's like, I'm not just going off and I'm the one. I'm not being a pretentious asshole. You know what I mean? I really feel like I have I've like earned that somehow.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure how yet, but
no, man, you've done a lot. You like, you know what? Let's lead up to the murder mystery by going backwards. You know,
okay, yeah, sure.
Let's go backwards. Like, you started, because I had Blake on, and you guys are childhood friends, right?
Oh yeah,
you guys go way back. Making
grade.
videos in the backyard. You guys weren't wrestling and playing sports. You guys were like making films.
It's true. We did have a wrestling show.
Yeah, you guys had I've seen clips of that.
But it was like WWF.
Yeah, but you always knew you wanted to do the arts. You wanted to make film. Did you always want to be a director?
I always wanted to make stuff. I was reluctant to admit that I wanted to be a director. I even directed in film school, but after film school, I was still like, I just want to be an editor. I just want to be and then I was like, I just want to be a grip.
Why is that?
I just want to be a key grip. It's a lot, I held director up on like a...
Oh, was it like some insecurities? Did you think to yourself, I don't know if I could be a director?
Honestly, dude, I think I just respected it. And I knew that there was a reason that it should be respected, because it's the first name that comes up at the end of the credits, or at the beginning of the credits, end of the movie.
Yeah,
it's like...
Directed by, created by.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, that guy holds, or that person holds all the pressure. Must, you know what I mean? So I didn't really want to do it. But I was doing it.
Yeah.
And then I was just doing it.
That's the funny part,
I
right?
was just doing it.
You probably didn't realize that the things you were already doing were the same things of like what the professionals are doing, right?
Kind of. It was like, oh, but I insert myself into the place where a director is. I'm always there.
Okay, so you guys are up in the Bay Area. You're doing this stuff. You're doing the sketches. You're doing the wrestling show. You're doing, you're filming things.
We did improv too. We went to a public school system that had a killer arts program. And so we were like, I was definitely in.
It was like Glee. You guys were the...
yeah. But we still performed in the multi-use room.
The cool nerds of the school.
It was just cool to be artistic at the school. It was accepted. And so like we really ran amok in it. And I don't know if it was just us, our energy that like kind of made it be like special, but it was like we worked hard. There was a group of us that are still actually now on transplants down in Los Angeles,
right, that are still kind of like resonating and like emitting this energy, and it's cool. It very much is.
So and Blake was one of Blake and I. We met in third grade and we made a comic book together.
In third grade, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So then at that point, you're in high school, you're doing all that, and you had decided at that point, I'm going to go to school, right, for...
Pretty much. I was going to go to a 4-year. I was trapped between a 4-year and not going to college. And then my mom found a 1-year program in Los Angeles, and I was like, okay, I'm doing that. Oh. That's what I'm going to do, because I want to get in, get out. It was immersive. I was able to learn everything. I never left the school. It was 24 hours a day.
Oh, wow.
And I was just grinding.
Now, while you were there, was that when you guys... Now, mail order comedy had already been started? Were you guys already doing
this
that?
is much before that.
Oh, way before that. Okay.
Way before. This is right after I met Divine, because Blake and I moved from the Bay Area down to Orange County.
Okay.
And Adam had moved to Orange County from Omaha. We met at junior college.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, were you doing the art stuff in the junior college also?
I was just a manager at Van Shoes. Like, honestly.
Oh man, humble. You talk about humble beginnings.
Yeah, it was like a third manager at Van Shoes.
Oh, you weren't
like,
even the manager.
No,
you were like the shift supervisor.
I was 19 years old trying to buy, like, just trying to live for the day and get wasted every night, you know? Like, me and my buddy lived together, and then Blake would always come over, and he basically lived there, and then we would just party, live the college life.
But without the college.
Yeah, and then I got into trouble, and then my mom's like, hey, you know, you should go to film school. Yeah.
So you went to the year-long program.
Yeah, I did that.
And then after that, you got out of that, and then you were working at the store. You were trying to figure out what you wanted to do with yourself.
Right. I was working on sets. I did the whole, like, independent film
gotcha.
grip, grind. Like, it's like pushing dolly for like $50 a day or something like that, you know.
You were learning.
And
then you went to film school.
Then Divine and I moved in together.
Boom.
And I dusted off the camera. And I was like, okay. Yeah. We started filming some shit, you know. We started, because I had an edit bay. I'd gone to school, so I knew how to edit. And I spent the money on an Avid, and it was in my room, and I was always trying to hustle and do the Craigslist thing with that as well.
Oh, wow.
So then I was like,
so you had to add, like, do you need a movie edited? Do you want your wedding video? Were you doing that shit?
I did wedding videos with my brother. We did like 6 weddings in our past when we were teenagers.
Wow.
Yeah.
People what if those were on eBay now? Edited by Kyle Newacheck.
Some of them are very, very bad. I had to do one by myself.
Wait. I want to know this. Were you trying to be super artsy with the wedding videos?
Oh, hell yeah, dude. We were using like transitions. Like, dude, my brother and I came up with this idea where we're going to have the bride spin around and we're going to play it in slow motion, okay? Before she got dressed, same spot after she got dressed.
You were doing a Wonder Woman? Like,
and then she spun around and we just did a transition, and it's like she's all beautiful now. And people in Walnut Creek loved it. Like, that's back in the hometown.
That was your calling card? That was like... All right, so now I'm following along. You and Adam are living together. You dust off the camera. You're editing, and then at that point, you guys decided, why don't we film some sketches?
Yep, we were like starting to think about it a lot, like shooting more and more, and kind of like, what is this? What's going on? And YouTube was kind of coming out at the same time. Adam was doing classes all around Hollywood, and one of them was a Second City, Los Angeles class.
Oh wow!
And he met Anders there.
Oh,
that's where they clicked up.
Yeah, this is the genesis right here.
Yeah, and then they totally, dude. And then Adam introduced me to Anders, which resulted in a drunken fight the first night.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, no, it was crazy. But then it resulted in us Adam wanting to bridge the relationship, so he invited us to go see Kung Fu Hustle the next day.
Oh, wow.
And so
Kung Fu Hustle saved your relationship?
With Anders.
Like, I'm here today because of Kung Fu Hustle? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Exactly, dude. Exactly. Like, we bonded over it. It was like, that movie was so tight, and visually it was radical, and it was like, okay, cool, now let's be friends. And then we were friends, and then it was like we started, and he was a writer, so we started writing. And
it was actually perfect. You had Blake and Adam as these kind of wacky performers. You were behind the camera,
handling it all.
You knew how to do that. Anders is like the adult in the group, you know, of those guys.
Grounding element.
Yep. And then a perfect storm for mail order comedy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And we were playing in these big sketch worlds, like high concept, you know, like crossbows and mustaches, all these colorful worlds and all that stuff. And doing different textures and playing and seeing what we could do with just the 4 of us plus some of my friends from film school. Right, you know, like what could we do with like a skeleton crew? This shit is funny. Like, these guys are highly entertaining.
Yeah, they sure are.
And I was cutting everything too, so I was editing it all. And so I was in the lab, but just like,
yeah,
like going insane.
And it just clicked, right?
It just fell into place. Yeah,
the language that they were speaking on screen, it coincided with your language, and then you guys just created this thing.
Yeah, because we were all friends. You know, we were friends, and then we we flipped it into the business, and it was like it worked because we had the shorthand of friendship.
I was going to say it's like an authentic relationship. You know, that's the one thing I always look back on Workaholics. Some of my favorite episodes is just nothing big going on. It's just them doing what they do. You know, this just like natural chemistry that the three of them had with each other.
Oh yeah.
Then with you at the helm.
Well, honestly, it's because it's like we can run microphones that can capture everybody, and we don't have to be so structured within how we create stuff anymore that we are allowed to capture that type of relationship also.
So when it was time for Workaholics, and you guys you were ready to create it on your own, isn't that right? Isn't it like you guys made the pilot yourself in a sense?
Yeah,
the original pilot.
The original pilot, which was so basically we were doing all that stuff. The thing that hit was our most low concept Workaholics. You know what I mean? Like we had fucking rapping wizards, all this shit that was just like so up there.
They were like, you know what? Give us the Office comedy, that one,
totally.
Three stoners in an office. We like that one.
Which is why we have a whole bunch of episodes that push the envelope because we want to do that high concept, crazy shit. But the thing that was the most relatable was just the most low concept shit we could think of. Dudes in a house, dudes in an office, speaking our language.
Yeah,
you know, yeah. Yeah,
I remember when I first read the script for Workaholics for the audition. I remember reading that and just thinking, oh, this is never gonna get on the air. Like I thought to myself, are they really gonna let someone say these particular things on TV?
Well,
I had no idea.
Like even in the pilot, like the first joke, and this is in the presentation as well, is the whole like order of how you do a dick pic and how it goes nipple, dick, pussy, butthole. And we're just like, there's no way we can do this. We can say nipple, dick, pussy, butthole a few times in an episode.
Right.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
But we wanted to push that. So they were like, Comedy Central ultimately saw it and was like, hey, shout out to Walter Newman who saw it. He's the best. Amazing man. And then they said, here's a pilot presentation. Here's $50,000 to go make a pilot presentation. And I didn't understand what that was.
But you were ready.
I was ready, but the pilot presentation was like 10 minutes or 8 to 10 minutes of what the show could be. And so I was like, this is whack.
So what did you do?
We shot a whole episode. We shot an entire episode, and the quality didn't go down.
Right.
The quality went up because of it.
And so you know what you did, though? You screwed yourself.
Well, I screwed Hollywood.
You screwed. Because you screwed people because we
fucked Hollywood.
Yes, because the studio went like this. Oh shit! So we can make a whole show for $50,000.
Yeah. Well, and then everybody afterwards was trying to make these pilot presentation shows for $50,000.
Right,
it's
right.
super hard to pull off.
Yeah.
I had all these connections with.
And you owned the camera.
Yeah, we had all that stuff.
You had all your buddies. You had a support system in place that went back 10 years.
Yep.
So these guys that thought like, oh, we could do this in our garage, just like the dudes from Workaholics did, is just like a lack of respect for what you guys brought to the table.
I mean, really, what I did is I littered it with like, I think it's like $150,000 worth of music in it, and so they heard that, and I placed it well. And Blake gave me a CD of the tracks. He's like, try and put these ones in. I'm like, okay, and then we just boom.
Yeah, because they weren't going to air it. You didn't have to worry about anything.
Like Led Zeppelin. right. It's like,
and then they were like, okay, this was good, but now you just turned a $50,000 show into a, $2.5 million.
Yeah. So then, but they saw that and they're like, okay, because I always figured like we were like when we talked about it, it'd be like, let's just give them one of the episodes in the DVD set. You know, like we're not even really starting or like making a conscious decision to start these characters. We're just in the world.
Yeah.
And then they saw that, and from the presentation, they grabbed 10.
Wow.
Yeah.
I remember my first ever. Well, I remember the audition.
Then we had to cast it.
Yeah, you had to cast it.
Then we need to round it out because
Yeah.
we needed more characters. We had the 3 guys and Carl.
Yeah.
And Alice and Jillian.
Yeah, you did. But you had a different Alice.
We had a different Alice.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that was super weird.
Yeah, because you had to remake the pilot. You made the pilot right, I guess.
Yeah, we had to because there was art all over the walls and stuff like monster posters and shit from the house because we shot in the house that we lived in. So it was like, all that shit wasn't cleared.
So then you all right, and then you made it, and then like I say, you're casting, and I remember walking in the room after the original call. So I remember the original. I really wanted that part. Like I remember, working on it with my buddy, and then so I went to the original. The first call, and was with Allison, Alyssa. I mean, Alyssa, the casting director, right? Alyssa Weisberg, and then I'll never forget when I finished doing it. She looked at her partner, and they looked at each other, and she went, "Okay," because I don't think anybody did it the way I did it,
right?
And then I went to the first call. I walked in the room.
No, this was a character that we were so excited about too.
See, I don't even know the backstory.
Oh man, Montez was I think Montez is somebody's.
Anders knows somebody named Montez. Yeah,
knows somebody named Montez in Chicago, and he would do this cool impression that just had us all in stitches. And so we knew we just wanted to go with somebody who was a nerd, but also could speak the slang, get it out there.
A little urban, but you're not sure.
Little bit, and exactly, and also mold in some dad jokes, just some dumb comedy in there too, which is great. And we were stoked, and then you came a day early.
Yeah, I was talking about that.
That's how much you wanted this. You came a day early. I know, because Blake was he was taking a leak or something, and he saw. And
I saw him, and I was like, "Hey, man!" And he was like, "You must be here for Montez,
right?"
He was like, "That's tomorrow,
dude." He came back in the room and was like, "I think I just saw Montez," and we were like, "Who was it?"
I always love telling that story. It's just a great. But again, I remember walking in the room, and
a lot of people came in and auditioned for Montez.
Oh yeah.
Too.
It was I know all these people. It was and then another thing too about it is you didn't know what you wanted. There was Latino guys, there was black guys. Right. There was it was they didn't know what they wanted. And I remember walking in the room for the first time, and I saw Adam, and I was like, what the fuck is Adam doing here?
Because you knew Adam, right?
I knew him, so I didn't know. I was like, oh, this is cute. Adam's in here learning the business,
The door guy from the improv is learning.
Look at him, intern. I had no idea. And then I remember this specifically too, because I was like, oh, look at all these people, I'm making jokes. And then it was like, oh, I'm the director. And I was like, okay, well, there's the most important guy in the room. I remember saying that. And then doing the audition. And then I got notes. The first note was, oh, yeah, it's too big. And then
that's a note that will follow for years to come.
Yeah. And then this motherfucker. Okay, how about this though? I come in to do the next time. And then second audition, and your ass goes, hey, what happened? What do you mean what happened? What happened was I took your goddamn note, and then what you realize is you don't like that.
Hey, it's a fickle business.
Yeah, I had to audition 4 times for that fucking part.
We took everybody through the ranks because we actually had to do the politic.
I know. It was that's what I'm saying.
Mary Beth had to go in front of everybody live.
Oh, wow. It was
live. Her and Adam. And I gave her a note to bite Adam's head off. Just don't even let him finish. Just sock him. And I think that's what
it worked out
for her.
I mean, it worked out. And then we end up making the little show that could.
For real, man. That first season was unbelievable when we were all just grinding right around here in Burbank. Yeah. That
crazy Now Studios casting, taking over that top floor.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember my first scene was I was doing the what was it? This ain't Seinfeld.
This ain't? Oh, right. Yeah.
He was like, my invitation got lost in the mail.
Right,
I just remember that.
That's my first. That has a lot of great quotables from you.
But that was my first.
It is. That's my favorite. I say that all the time when they come in and ask you for the tickets. And it is.
But that was the first time too that I was becoming comfortable with the idea that we're improv-ing a little bit,
Yeah.
People always ask, is Workaholics improv? And I was like, no, it's very scripted. And they figure out what they want. They got a Bible of things, because if it was all improv, they would be terrible.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
So, but it was fun. I remember that with the tickets and all that stuff. And I was like, wow, we really got something here. Yeah. And you were my first real director.
Yeah. I'm your Marty Scorsese.
Yeah,
baby.
Man, you were the first one to and then by season 7, it was we had 2 takes, and it was moving on,
Dude, we had it so dialed though.
Was it dialed? Okay.
Are you kidding me?
Okay. So the turnaround, it was okay, single on Anders, single on Adam, single on Blake, double on this. Then you turn around on me and Bill.
You got your single. Don't you worry. Bill might have not got the single, okay? But you got your single. Don't worry.
Bill and I used to have we used to have bets going on the over under on how many takes it would take to. It was always like 2.5 was the over under.
That's pretty good. 2.5. Yeah, because that'll be the one where I just speed through. I'm like, I just need that one line. That's it. All right, try saying this. We got it. We got it. Jokes are good.
No, my favorite story about you also is like you calling me. So I do them dying up here.
Yep.
You know, and then you hit me up. You're like, yo, man, you've really grown as a performer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But my thought was,
that's right.
I'm shooting these shows at the same time.
I know. Yeah, that's right.
I didn't go to acting class for 2 years and then come do that. No. They were being shot at the same time.
I remember you coming into set, like 2020 hindsight, into Workaholics set, being like, man, Melissa Leo, whoa. And I'm like, that just like bounced off. Because I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I'm I'm trying to fucking run a show over here.
You guys didn't care about
and
anything.
that shit was chaos, by the way.
The final season?
Oh, dude, yeah. It just was like, it was insane. But I remember you, then when I watched the show, I'm like, hell yeah, dude. This guy was taking some trips.
You know? Yeah, hello?
Because you got to work shit that you didn't get to work on Workaholics. Workaholics, like I'm saying, like we knew everybody's comedic angle and where they would come in. And that's why we stopped it. You know, we had fucked around with it so much. We had made Durs the crazy one. We had made Blake the straight one. We tried to contain Adam. Yeah. But Adam ended up you know, it was like, it's like
you feel like it ran its course.
We knew it. Without like completely recycling it. It's like, what else are we going to do? What other drug can we take? None of us have even taken fucking peyote, but we're like saying it's cool.
Yeah.
Like,
if Comedy Central had opened up the Brinks truck, though, would you guys still be doing it today?
I mean, fuck yeah.
It's so great for you in the middle of it going like, we really it ran its course and we've done all we can do.
Like I said, it's a fickle business.
So from Workaholics, Workaholics ended, but you were doing a lot of other stuff though. You directed a bunch of community episodes, right?
Yeah,
you've done a bunch of TV and stuff like that, and and then you guys went into a Game Over Man.
Yeah.
Now, was Game Over Man your first feature film directing?
Yeah. Well, yes, exactly. Yeah,
like
it was.
Studio film?
It was, totally. That was when I went into it for the first time. And it wasn't, it felt like a bigger, we just finished Workaholics.
It was Workaholics movie.
It was.
Yeah,
It was
anything they do, though, it's going to be a Workaholics, whatever.
But that one was crazy just because it didn't work for Comedy Central anymore.
Right.
All of a sudden, we were working for Big Red. Yeah.
But weird times, though. I mean, I asked Blake about this. It's like, do you think that because of the times, the political times and the sensitivity and Me Too, that like Game Over Man, like say, would it have been even larger, say 5 years ago? But because it's such a guy, girls with tits out and like that, it's such a guy-centric type of thing.
Ours isn't a guys, girls with tits out. Ours is a guys with dicks out movie.
Well, yeah, that's true too.
All right.
Yeah, we have to see Adam's dick one more time. I'm gonna.
You.
Holy shit. Like Adam loves having his dick out, man.
Holy shit.
But I'm just saying. Do you think that is there a sequel in the works? I mean, do you think like you would have made 3-4 of those type of movies if it was different times? Do you think politics have anything to do with that?
I think so. I think that we went out there with our middle fingers up and we're just kind of like, this is what we're doing.
Yeah, you blew dogs up and had people getting their ass eaten.
Yeah. Cut dicks off. Threw dicks across the room.
Yeah.
Exploded heads. Glorified violence. It's fuck, man. But it's weird when we were entertainment, so we were supposed to be the escape.
Right.
But then when you become conscious of the outside world, and the outside world is like kind of being the absurdist in a weird way. Like it feels like absurdism is all around us, like nobody's got their heads on straight. Now all of a sudden the reason why I came to Hollywood, which is to get that shit out, is not acceptable. And now it's up to me to wait, do I have to assume?
Yeah, you have to police yourself.
Do I have to assume a very responsible role right now?
Yeah, that's not entertainment. And that's the weird thing about it, that people have forgotten nuance.
It's so weird. But I mean, I look at Workaholics and I'm like, or I'm sorry, Game Over Man, and I'm like, I'm still okay with it. I got no problem with it. When my son's a certain age, he'll see it.
Yeah.
And we'll look at it. Yeah. I'll be like, look, this is what was going on.
Now you're ready for this, kids. You know, as soon as he turns like 15?
Yeah, 15. I mean, I don't know how much I'll wait. We'll see.
Yeah, because he'll probably, by then, imagine what the technology will be by then, you know? People will be like, look at your dad, bro.
The headlines are going to be like, when Donald Trump fucks robot in the middle of Central Park and live streams it on Instagram.
He'll still be president.
And it's like, and we can't impeach because of these rules.
You know what?
That's what it is.
You know what a great moment I also remember from Workaholics is that time you had to get your hair cut.
Oh, for the bowl cut?
Yeah, for the bowl cut. And you were that was so sensitive about your hair at the time.
Yeah.
You were just like a wild. You always were more sensitive than I realized. Yeah. And I was like, I'm a comic. I remember the day that you were like, hey man. It was like you had like a you was Mr. Tie-dye shirts and whatever. And I was teasing you a little bit. And I saw on your face, I was like, oh, he really is sensitive about this.
Yeah,
You're a sensitive dude.
Sometimes I am, yeah, for sure. I mean, comedy's cool and all, and I like that. But also at that time, when we were making Workaholics, it was like I probably was getting ribbed on by everybody else. And then I saw you, and I'm like, you're kind of sensitive too, right? Come on, man. Like, leave me alone for a second.
You did. You know what? I felt it, and I was like, you know what? I stopped after that.
Yeah, because it's like I knew that you could maybe stop it, where everybody else, we were so in the fucking tornado of comedy that it was like.
Now you got your sea legs during Workaholics. You're doing Community.
I did Community.
So you felt and you pitch in studio films and you're having table reads and you're ready to go, and then you get this opportunity to do this Sandler movie. Now, how did that even come about?
Oh man, that was like I go to all these meetings, right? They find a script that I like and they like me for, and I'll go to the meeting and we'll talk about it, and probably 90% of the time that movie doesn't get made. It's just not moving. Those were the types of meetings that I was kind of hitting, where it's like I'm responsible for developing this stuff. So I read Murder Mystery and I was like, this is dope. Like it's a very self-aware, obviously from the title. It's a very self-aware comedic genre comedy. You know what I mean? Like murder mystery comedy. And it's like they have Sandler and Jennifer Aniston.
So you already knew they were attached from jump?
Yeah. Like when I read the script the first time, I was reading for Sandler and I think I was reading for Aniston, And
who made the final call? Was Sandler, did he make the call? Was he like, I want this guy to direct?
Yeah, I mean, I think like what happened was I think there was a little back and forth with another director. And then ultimately they were like, no, we're going with the new dude because Sandler's like, I want to go with the new fresh voice. Mm-hmm. I want the freshest. And he had just come off of his comedy special for Netflix,
right?
Which he had been shooting for 2 years.
Jesus!
And so he was looking at 2 years worth of stand-up material and putting it together as I was prepping this. And I'm like, oh, he's in a reinvention phase right now.
Yeah,
which is cool.
So then, so now we're caught up to when you're telling you kind of knew you were going to do the movie. So you had an idea that this part was like, maybe Erik can do this part, but
that movie, I don't know how it happened. I mean, it just clicked, and they called me. They said, you got it. It films in Italy. It films in Montreal. Films in Monte Carlo.
Ooh,
and I'm just like, I went to the meeting with Netflix. I went to the meeting with Netflix thinking like, meh.
No way I can get
no
this.
Way. No fucking way. I'm not going to get this movie. But I went in there with like a hard stance, and I was like, what I want to do is not put comedians around for the majority of it. I don't want to put comedians around Jen and Adam. I don't want them fighting to be funny.
Right. Makes sense. That
was what I didn't want to have happen in the dynamic of the movie. I wanted there to be a murder mystery that was taken very seriously. And it was like, it's its own thing, true to the genre. And then I have these two buffoons in the center of it, like they get trapped in it and they're allowed to comment on it because they're aware of the genre. I was like, I have to build a proper genre around them.
Sweet.
Yeah, genre comedies, you have to build the genre.
Yeah.
If you don't build the genre, you're not doing it.
I was doing this artsy film at the time, and I'd already committed to it. Then you call me, and again I had that thought in my head from
yeah, what's it?
Oh, we're gonna get my ass eaten again,
right,
Kyle?
Exactly.
No, and you're
no.
And you're like, by the way, you're like, no, dude, this is Sandler movie, and I was like, okay, and you're like, it was like, well, I don't know. I just, if I commit to something, I want to do it. I just, I don't want to go back on my word on these, even though it was like a smaller movie.
Yeah.
But then you call me back and you're like, look, man, Sandler wants you. We got to make this work.
You know what? Because he's like, what about your boy for Jimmy? He was always like, what's up with Jimmy?
Yeah.
And I'm like, we lost. He's on another thing. We didn't move fast enough. And this movie is the first thing that I didn't produce. I'm just a director on it.
Oh, okay.
Which is still a very, very huge role.
Yeah.
But I was able to detach myself. There was enough people
that can deal with that shit.
If something said, that should be handled.
Mm-hmm.
And so Erik Griffin was said. It was stated like a couple weeks before. And Sandler was in. And then I was like, yo, this is serious. We got to go, because I knew you had that other thing.
Yeah.
And then that's one of the only times I got a call from Sandler too, is he's like, what happened to Jimmy? What the fuck happened to Jimmy? I'm like, dude, I said it fucking weeks ago. I'm in on this.
Yeah. Because you did call me. You called me like it was, Then I was like, I didn't hear from you. And then you hit me up like, yo, man, this is like in a couple days. And I'm like, bro, I can't just drop everything I'm doing.
Well, dude.
But it worked out.
And I mean, I was in the middle of a tornado. I was flights from LA to Montreal, Montreal to France drive to Italy, and then back to LA. And then I did that again 2 more times. I did that 3 times. And then I started shooting.
Okay. So then like,
and this is like in 2.5 months. I did that 3 times.
So I got to, I came up, and that was the first day of shooting, right?
You were the first.
That was the first day of shooting. So
first day of shooting, I needed Erik Griffin on set.
So one thing I noticed is we had this little run through, and I'm seeing you, and I'm like, that was the first time I was like, oh, this is a big fucking deal. I was like, this is a big fucking deal, and I can honestly tell that it was like, you had already, whatever your prep, but now it was real. And I could tell you were a little nervous.
Oh, dude, those first couple days were crazy.
I could tell you were a little nervous. And you were like, and you know what I knew too? This was a great moment because, like, okay, so now I meet Sandler.
Right, yeah.
The next day, he and I'm like, I'm like, whoa, this is real. You know what I mean? We're doing this like, I hadn't met him yet, actually. He didn't come to it was like we were doing with the stunt guy. We were figuring out all the things we wanted to do.
Oh, yeah, right.
And then what you didn't realize is you said to me, hey, I got to go to this. You're going to this dinner. And you're like, you go, Erik, I'm going to this dinner and I'll see you tomorrow. And then I get a call from you. Get over to this dinner.
Yeah, because again, we were at dinner and like, I didn't set the fucking dinner up.
I know.
I'm not a producer. I'm a guest.
Yeah,
and then
you don't want to assume.
I noticed there's a chair open. And I was like, yo, Sandler, you want me to call Erik? He's like, call Jimmy.
And it was great. I remember I walked in late and I was like, it was one of those things where I was late and like the whole room like turned. You know what I mean? The whole room was like, whoop, Yeah. And I was like, whoa. And then I'm looking and I'm like, fuck. It's Sandler, Jennifer Aniston, the dude from Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, yeah.
The producers, the other table. And then I'm like, everybody's looking at me. And then I make a joke. I'm like, oh, am I at the Riff Raff table? Or like, so those other guys were like, how dare you? And then Sandler, what I appreciated about him was like his attention to detail about things. Because when I said to him, I was like, oh, it's the dude from Beauty and the Beast. I was so excited. He was like, hey, that's just like your bit. So he had seen my stand-up.
Right.
And was referencing it.
Right.
Jennifer Aniston was nice. She gives me a big hug. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, my God, I'm on Friends,
Oh, dude. I mean, it's true. Very genuinely beautiful people.
Yes.
Like beautiful souls, like really awesome people to go to battle with and make a movie.
But then it was all business time. So then the next day we come in. And
but then when you're doing it, when you're grinding on set, you're at the tip of the spear and you're cutting through. And
I was nervous too.
Shit has to be said if you're feeling it. And if you're not feeling it, if you're feeling something, you have to say it. That's how it works at the center of that movie set,
But was that the first time also you of course you talked to him and you planned things with him, but this is the first time now you were on set with him too. At the same time I was there, right? Is that right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So and what I noticed about him, he was like, "Let's run the lines," you know. And I was like, "Whoa, okay, this is like, you know." And I could tell you were just like you were very much like, "All right, you were finding your way with him."
Well, because
that first day,
that particular scene, exactly. It was day one.
A stunt.
How do we work together?
Yes.
Under pressure. Because he is a decision maker, major decision maker,
and meticulous.
I
remember that,
and his thoughts are great.
So it's like I remember the guy that was playing the robber in the store. He looked at him and he said, "That's a wig. I don't know. It's too wiggy."
That's right.
He was like, "This is too wiggy. I don't like it." Oh
yeah, that's right. And then we ended up putting something on him.
But I just thought to myself, as I was watching him, I was like, "Oh, this dude is like, he's all over it." Like every aspect of the whole, like every part of the scene, he has it in his head. Whether it be the lighting, whether it be like what we're doing.
Sandler's cool like that because he's done 70 movies.
But he was also very giving too, though. It's not like he was like a control freak.
No.
He definitely like gave, you know.
He's the kind of guy and he has his own company, so he's the kind of guy that will go to Transpo and say what's up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The movie set is his home.
Yeah, he's
and every corner of it, every corner of it, his family's coming in. Yeah. So it's like, which is exactly the way that I came up with Workaholics. The set was my home.
Boom.
You know what I mean? And so I think
full circle.
Once we realized that we were in that same world and we only work for this project and we just have to make this project as fucking great as it can be. You know, we have to push some boundaries, be it like just limits of where we can go and what we can.
I like that he always wanted to, after every take he goes and looks at the monitor.
Playback.
Yeah, he's like,
playback's huge. Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that too because I never really experienced that.
I'm starting to get used to it because they have it on movies, and so on Game Over Man I had it, and then on Murder Mystery I had it. So I'm just kind of like, it's a kind of a cool way to just look and be like, we got it. You know, I'm sitting there directing a couple pros, major pros. So they both want to come back and watch their performance,
right?
Because if they can get it in 2. We can get it in 2. You know what I mean? We don't have to do all this laborious work when we're trying to but some of them we get it in 12 because it's a tough moment. You know what I mean?
Like I'm saying, the next day it's like, so we do that stunt thing. It was fun, then we did that great walk and talk.
That was awesome.
You know,
that's like right at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, and I was very much like, that was so nervous at first because I was like, I'm going to walk and talk here with Sandler.
It's a tough shot.
And it's a tough shot. We're walking way down the street and there's people with babies and there's cars coming and we have to get the lines right. And that was like, so, it's a
big shot. Big shot on a Montreal street.
Yeah. Rob Schneider actually hit me up the other day and he was like, yo, man, Sandler was talking about you because he's in the middle of editing and he was like loving this scene you guys did. So I was like, I can't wait for it to come out.
The performances in the movie are so good. And that's like one thing that was super cool working as just the director is I didn't have all this. I mean, the movie's a logistical nightmare across 3 continents.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? 3 countries. And it's just
I'm still upset Jimmy didn't make it to Italy. But.
I know.
You owe me in the sequel.
Yeah,
That's all I'm saying.
You got it, buddy. You got it. But then I was able to just be like, performance.
Yeah.
You know, like, let's just talk about where you're coming from. That didn't ring true for me. So it's like, I feel like I got some of the dopest performances in this movie.
Well, I'm excited for it to come out, and that I'm sure this will lead to like bigger and better things for you, right? Like, what's your dream project?
I don't know, man. I just want to make what I feel, you know? I think it'd be cool to be able to just pick a project and be like, I want this, and I want to do it now. You know what I mean? I talk about movies a lot on here too, and it's like, and we always talk about going to a movie, but then you get so busy, and now you have a baby, and like, Oh yeah, I know.
But like, what are you watching?
That's all I'm doing now is watching. I watched some TV. I got back into some binge watching.
Oh,
Marvelous Miss Maisel.
Oh, did you like that?
Yeah, I thought season 1, I hit it hard. Season 2, I'm like, why are you in France? What the fuck is going on right now? What happened to all
I'm a little salty. I'm a little salty about the show because that's like, our show didn't get the same kind of love, and it is what it is.
That's actually the last like show I binged was your show. I don't watch a fuck ton of TV.
Yeah. You're not a TV guy.
I'm dying up here. I loved it. I loved it. Season 1 so juiced. Season 2 fell off a little bit.
Oh, you didn't like season? I loved season 2
I
way more.
personally fell off. I think that's when I started like making. I don't know what happened.
Well, and that's why we got canceled.
Whoopsies!
Totally your fault, motherfucker.
Sorry about that. But movies, I loved Bird Box.
Did you? I thought it was weird.
Yeah,
I thought it was really weird. But I guess that's what was good about it. It was like cool. But I just that's the kind of movie though that I was like, you can't. It's kind of like Lost, the TV show Lost, where you don't really want to know what it is. Well, you can't really show, hey, here's what's really happening, because you're going to be like, it's anticlimactic. So in this movie, like you don't really. They never say like, are these demons? Are these like? Is it? You just kind of go, okay, what are they? How are they going to survive in this little bird sanctuary?
Yes,
you kind of want to know, like they're not going to survive.
Well, but they you know what I mean? They laid enough. They laid enough. Enough breadcrumbs to be like, okay, they will be safe here. The living conditions are going to suck because it's like worst. 200 people in this courtyard.
It was the worst. I thought to myself, this is the end.
Yeah, where do they shit?
Yeah, I was like, oh man. And then what? And then she didn't even tell her, like they didn't even give her the rules. Like, hey, if the birds start going crazy, everybody close your eyes. Like there was no.
Right. Like, how do you?
Yeah. There was no. Like, they should have had like a little like welcome to the sanctuary. Rule number 1. You know.
That's Bird Box 2. That's how they open it.
I enjoyed it.
No, I thought it's completely divisive. You know, like just devices in everything. You can't fucking see. Yeah. All this shit and all these rules that they're making up. But I didn't mind it. I thought it was hella creative.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. But I thought it was creative for the sake of being creative. Like if somebody was like, hey, let's here's what we'll do. Here we are.
Right. Yeah. Well, I enjoyed it. I had a good visceral watch.
Yeah, me too. I'm not, this is what I like about Netflix. I like that you could just, like, you don't have to, like, do this chore of, like, getting in your car and picking the type of movie you want to see in the theater, thinking about this money you're going to waste, and, like, is this going to be worth it? So you can kind of just be like, you know what? I'm going to check out this one.
And this time of year, screeners, I mean, I got all the screeners. I got everything.
Yeah, I didn't pay my dues in time. So.
Oh, my God.
Once a year. Because I'm not working right now.
Dude, I have to. DGA, they'll come get me.
Oh, well, yeah, because you're working constantly. That's a stronger union, by the way.
They'll come get me. But I have like 70 screeners at the crib right now. It's unbelievable.
All right, you're on an island.
Yeah.
Okay? You know you're going to be on an island. You're going to be for 6 months. What's the 5 movies you have to have with you for your downtime?
Movies?
Yeah. Are you a movie person? Like, is it like, here's my movie, like this is my movie? For me, it's The Godfather. Like, I would need 1 and 2 would be part of my thing.
Those are great.
I would like that. I'd want The Matrix.
And
School of Rock.
That's funny.
Yeah, those are like
School of Rock's a great movie.
Yeah, I can watch School of Rock like any time of day. I could just put it on.
I think I would grab The Labyrinth.
Of course.
Just because I need it. Just because I need it, it's in my soul.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. That shit's cool. I just started messing with puppets. You're gonna see
that's not weird at all.
You're gonna see a whole different side of me soon, my friend.
You coming out with your puppet movie? Is that what's gonna be next?
I got a puppet music video coming out. It's pretty cool.
Okay. So you got The Labyrinth. Okay.
Okay, yeah, The Labyrinth. See, I want to pull a Ninja Turtles into it too.
Oh, so you're just okay. You're always gonna are you sci-fi? You just
no. Ninja Turtles like maybe the first one, but that's just for nostalgic. I think that's for. But a lot of my core values came from there too, of brotherhood and friendship.
What I like about what you're saying right now is that because I find that people that are like, let's say you're a sound person, right? Mm-hmm. You can't watch a movie without, oh God, this sound sucks. Or like if you're a lighting person, you're like, every time, why'd they light it like that? Mm-hmm. Now, as a director, do you find yourself having trouble sometimes watching things? Do you go like, why did they make that fucking choice?
Oh, yeah.
So is this why then, when you're thinking about the movies that you like, it's kind of mindless, kind of just like, these are just fun. You could divorce yourself of that thought process.
I love entertainment. For entertainment's.
That's good. Don't ever lose that.
Yeah. That's my favorite thing. Like, I think I would bring... I guess I'd bring Die Hard.
I mean,
I kind of have to. It's tough because it's either Die Hard or Lethal Weapon.
Yeah.
But I think it's Die Hard just because it's
in the genre. I would say
Lethal Weapon's a better movie almost, man.
You think so?
Better dynamic. We got the back and forth between. I respect the dynamic more.
I think I like.
That's why I made Game Over Man.
I like that character.
Dude, Game Over Man is basically Lethal Weapon inside of Die Hard. But 3 men and a baby too.
I think if I had to pick, like, who would you want in a sticky situation? You want Murtaugh? Is that what his name is?
Yeah, Lieutenant Murtaugh.
Do you want Murtaugh or do you want
Riggs?
Riggs.
You want Riggs.
Yeah, you want Riggs. Just like, okay, do you want Jack Reacher or do you want John Wick?
John Wick.
Oh yeah, he's just a fucking badass.
But Jack Reacher, actually, I have a
fight with my friends all the time that I think they're the same. I think Jack Reacher and John Wick are the same. It's just the movie John Wick is just so much more violent.
No, I think that means that they're not the same, right? Or just John Wick has more bad guys.
Yeah, right. I think they have. Yeah, well, at the end of the second Jack Reacher was just horrendous. Okay?
Yeah, no, but
I don't even count it. The first one, but the second John Wick was great. But I'm just saying, like, if John Wick and Jack Reacher were going up again, if they were adversaries, who would you go with? Who do you got your money on?
I mean, I think that Keanu is. I'm going Keanu now. It's not even.
Now it's
off camera.
You can't do this. I mean, because I would think the same thing. It's like, okay. Are you going to go with the Scientologist, or are you going to go with the? No, you can't do that. It's John Wick and Jack Reacher.
Yeah, well,
not even Ethan Hunt, by the way.
I think John Wick is more capable. I think he has more tricks.
You think
more physical tricks?
You think he's more?
I think Jack Reacher is more of a mind, a little bit more of a mind.
But he was pretty violent in the end of that first one. Okay, then all right. So we go in John Wick if we're doing brackets. But then where's Ethan Hunt? Do you take Ethan Hunt over John Wick?
Well, yeah, because he has more.
He's got more toys. He's got more toys.
More access. Yeah, yeah. His access is more. He's got more toys. Exactly.
Yeah, I think I would take Ethan Hunt over Jack Reacher too.
Yeah, and that's more entertainment than violence. Also, if you're just going for movies, like I remember Mission Impossible as being more critical thinking movies than John Wick is, and I think I appreciate a good critical thinking movie, or at least a plot line that makes me think.
But if you can make them all rated R, which I think is what they should be.
Sure.
I think that's the problem with, I believe. It's like when you first saw Logan.
Logan was crazy.
When I first saw Logan and I saw those claws go through that guy's head in the beginning of the movie, I thought, oh shit, this is why they haven't ever shown this. Because that is gruesome, Like it's like that's what that really would look like.
Right.
But we haven't filled that in our head, until now.
Right. Now we're filling that in and
we're like, oh, I don't know if I like this. But
I wonder now just stepping out culturally, I wonder what as the industry becomes more and more graphic, like Hollywood or entertainment industry, the world seems to be becoming more and more graphic. So back to what I'm saying is I wonder if Hollywood's going to actually become a little bit more prude. And
I think it goes in cycles.
It's going to rein it in a little bit. Like Disney kind of isolating itself in a very like good area, I just wonder. I don't know.
Well, I think it goes in cycles depending on what's also going on in society. I mean, I think when you look back to like the Clinton era with the Monica Lewinsky and like people having to talk about blowjobs with their kids and like all these kind of things. And then Something About Mary was out at the particular time. And like, it's like, I think that was like, I think that there was some subconsciously there was something connecting there. So I think whatever's going on, like when we're feeling more prude in society, then the movies are going to be like, okay, we're not going to show blood, we're not going to show violence, we're going to like, and then it just got, and then it seesaws.
It goes the other way, and then you pull it back a little bit. And that's why like Mary Poppins is doing well or whatever. Like that's coming back because you need that type of entertainment.
But I'm glad we have a lot of options though. Like if I want to go see Mary Poppins, fine. But I also want to go see John Wick blow somebody's head off.
Of course, you got to have all those outlets. You got to have them all. But Mary Poppins was like an integral piece of film that like shaped my childhood when I was a kid, I fucking loved it. Yeah. Like, and it was in my head. That shaped me.
A spoonful of sugar.
Dude, it's so tight.
So would you want to direct Mary Poppins or John Wick? You had a choice. They came to you.
I don't need to do
Mary Poppins 2 or John Wick 3. Go.
I'd probably do Mary Poppins 2.
I just knew you were going to say that.
I probably would, because I mean, like John Wick 3, yes, that's dope, but I would need to put comedy in there. I would have to put comedy in there.
Okay.
Blake and I were going to do a comedy that was going to be basically like John Wick.
But comedy.
Yeah.
I better be a villain or something in that if it gets made.
Oh, you would have been. You would have had a part.
Oh, so they can't. Oh, you're not doing it?
No. See, they actually said they wouldn't do this. It was an ultra-violent kind of like...
this is the kind of the day and age where they're like,
They said no. We had it set up at Netflix, and then Netflix is like, we're not going to do this right now. It's just not going to happen. And then that's actually when I had scouted it, and I found the place in Atlanta. And then that's when they were like, Netflix was like, actually, we're not doing Sex Castle, but we are doing Murder Mystery, and you'll be perfect for that because of your work on Game Over Man. And I'm like,
there you go. See that? That's how it's like. But you stuck to like what you.
But it was such a weird feeling because I was about to do this crazy, awesome project with Blake.
Yeah.
You know, guy who I was making comic books with.
And you've known since you were in the 3rd grade.
Yeah, and we were about to have the keys, and then Netflix does some insider trading. And is like, you're not doing that. You're not doing that. You're doing that.
Oh, wow.
I mean, nothing but love for Netflix. They're the dopest. It was just a weird feeling, you know?
Well, hey, obviously it all worked out because here you are, you just got off this great project and you have a good relationship with Sandler. I mean, that's a great, I'm still fingers crossed that he's like, hey, let's get the guy that played Jimmy again for this other thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, bro. You'll be back.
Oh, well, I knock on wood, right? Well, listen, man. I think we're at like an hour, right? Oh, see, look at that. See?
Well, would you look at that? Hey, there we are.
The Mustache Crew, right?
Yeah, totally, man.
Yeah. Well, you have a new baby.
I do.
Yep. How's being a father? Has it changed your perspective on like what you do, or is it like? Do you have more focus? Like, what are all the cliches that people say about having a kid? What are you excited about?
It was interesting because, like, go from Game Over Man, a super boundary pushing, who gives a fuck kind of attitude, to a Sandler movie that is a little bit more broader. Mm-hmm. Got to have the whole family sitting down to watch this one. And the whole time I was making it, like, my wife was pregnant.
Yeah. So
yeah, my palate shifted a little bit. Like I think I will always be like into whatever the dirt is.
Right.
Like let me see it.
But now you're just more thoughtful.
But I think I'm growing I'm not sipping as much haterade on the broad stuff, I think I used to sip a lot of that Bay Area haterade. On like this shit that's like, it's fine. What do you mean? Because it has good values and stuff. It's right. It's bad. No, I kind of want that shit to go into my son's brain too.
Good for you. Look at that. Look at that. Look at you all. Look at you all grown up.
That's what I'm saying, man. I came here as an absurdist, and now I am a responsible dad. Fucking insane.
Well, with that, I think that's a good stopping point, man. I'm really glad that you came on. I want to have you on again another time. You're always welcome to come in, and we'll shoot the shit about stuff, and hopefully we'll get to work together again. Like you've been at all my major points in my career right now. So my first TV show, my first major movie.
Oh yeah.
So now we got to get one on the big screen.
We'll have to do one. We'll have to do one closer to the premiere, like when we're getting ready for the premiere,
for sure.
Or like right afterwards or something.
Yeah,
like
well, maybe we could just kidnap Sandler and get him in here.
Yeah, we could. I'm sure we could. That would be hella fun, man.
Yeah, that for sure.
That would be tight.
Well, anyways, guys, I want to thank Kyle Newacheck for coming on, my buddy, first director ever, and I want to thank everybody for continuing to watch Riffin with Griffin. This is Erik Griffin signing off, and I will see you guys next week.